Welcome back to the channel. This is Let's Be Real Brad. I review movies, TV shows, and do other exciting and entertaining videos, so if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. It would gladly be appreciated. Today on the channel, we'll be talking about the 4th season of The Sopranos. I have done spoiler reviews of each season so far. I will link each of those reviews down below in the description. The Sopranos season 4 might be the most exciting season yet. It still manages to be entertaining, exciting with all the fantastic acting, writing, story, and camera work to showcase this incredible show. This show's quality has never dipped, which is genuinely awe-inspiring because television shows are so hard to make and have top tier quality. For the first part of this video, I'm giving my spoiler-free review of the season, and the second half I will be diving into spoilers, so let's get to it. I'll probably say this in every season is how exceptional the acting is. This is textbook material of how to get fantastic acting from everyone, including the supporting cast. Everyone is giving the most dedicated 100% and effort into these performances, which show how their performances feel so lifelike. I am so sucked into the show, forgetting that these aren't actors. Edie, Falco, and James Gandolfini are the best, with both of them winning Emmy Awards 2 seasons in a row. They are genuinely dominant in every season they are in, being the best characters of the show up to this point. The last episode, Whitecaps, was the episode chosen to give them their nominations rightfully deserved. Joe Pantoliano also won an Emmy for his role as Ralph Cifaretto. He gave such a dominating performance, being such a prick that you simply cannot stand. I hated him with every muscle in my body, which shows how outstanding this performance was. Along with the fantastic performances comes the tremendous writing. This is clearly one of the best written shows because the writers know precisely how to craft these complicated and well together characters, making them the forefront of the show. The dialogue always fits the characters, feeling so natural and never out of place. I could listen to these characters talk for hours because the dialogue is the definition of perfect. I love how the writers take the direction of these characters. They have so much build up, so when you get to the final episodes, everything starts to come together in such a satisfying and unpredictable way. In this season, the storylines have been cut down significantly to focus only on a few storylines that made the season's events feel not as exciting, only because season 3 had 20 storylines going on with so much happening that this season pulled back from that, which I enjoyed. Talk about being unpredictable. Every time you think the show is heading in a specific direction with the character storyline, the showrunners aren't afraid to shake things up and throw you for a loop. The show leads you on thinking you know what's going to happen next, but there are 10 steps ahead of the audience. This always keeps this season so refreshing and unique. The directing is also fantastic and shot well, with having pitch perfect shot selection. The dramatic and emotional scenes wouldn't hit as hard as they do without having this tremendous direction. Tim Van Patten and John Patterson were both nominated for Emmys for the episodes they directed. It is another entirely shot season with great cinematography to go along with it. The soundtrack continues to be excellent with so many fantastic song choices. They fit perfectly into every episode that seems to be always unpredictable of what great songs they pick. I haven't heard most of the songs before, so after each episode, I go to the Wikipedia page. It lists all the songs in the episode, even listing how they were used in the episode. Overall, this is another perfect season. I honestly cannot find any faults with this show as it continues to impress me with every new season I watch. The season is always entertaining, exciting, and makes sure to be as accurate to the Mafia as possible, taking full advantage of the TVMA rating. I cannot find any faults in this season has. I'm giving season 4 of The Sopranos a 10 out of 10. So, let's get into spoiler territory, talking about the best moments and storylines of the season in no particular order. Let's start off with Tony killing Ralph in his home after Ralph decides to burn down the Pio Mai stable. This leads Tony to an absolute rage, as we find out in this season from Dr. Melfi that Tony has a strong emotional connection to animals, which is a metaphor for how they're innocent creatures who do nothing wrong to deserve cruelty and harm they receive. This even connects to when Tony finds out Christopher accidentally kills Adriana's dog when he was high on the couch. Since Pio Mai brought great wealth to Tony because of all the bets he made on the horse, this angers him even worse and lets his rage go. It was such an intense, heart-pumping scene that I had no idea how it would end. He ends up strangling him on the ground in this fierce anger that he simply couldn't control. It is so sinister when he calls Christopher over and has him clean the house by chopping up his body into different pieces, as we see him putting all the parts into a bag that was definitely the most gruesome episode of the whole show so far. The next big storyline is with Adriana getting mixed into the FBI business. Her friend she met in season 3 ended up being an FBI informant, in which the FBI team tried to help Adriana and Christopher find a way out of this by turning on everyone. This will be a significant part of the rest of the show because we get a few scenes here and there. Adriana doesn't give them much information simply because she has no idea what Christopher and the rest of the gang do half the time. I like how she slowly uses her manipulation skills to find certain things out of Christopher, which will make her a more robust, prominent character in the years to come. The next storyline is with Christopher and his heroin addiction. We always knew he had a drug problem, but it becomes a real issue in this season where he starts to damage himself and the people he cares about. This is the nastiest we have seen of him, becoming such an unlikable character. I love how he has to have an intervention in episode 10 where he doesn't want any part of it, but when Tony says, "Sit down, you're doing this," he knows he has to listen. All the other main characters all sit there and speak their piece of how he's affected them. Paulie's speech was so damn funny, how he does in his Paulie way, how he doesn't need a speech. He is just going to tell it how it is. He finally accepts that he needs to go to a rehab center, which was the smartest thing they did. The only reason why this happened because Tony and Christopher are family. Tony shows more loyalty to Bloodline than anything, which might get him in trouble in the rest of the series. The only thing I didn't like is that he came back so quickly after returning for the final episode. I feel as though he should have returned in the next season, so that way it feels like a long passage of time has gone by, being gone to emulate how long he's been gone in the show's time. They only do this because Tony has a pivotal scene with Christopher about Carmine and the other group. He only tells Christopher because it is the blood that will be a big theme going into future seasons. The last big one I want to cover is Tony and Carmela are now separated after a long, heart-pounding, edge-of-my-seat finale where everything that was built in this season of Carmela having this special love for Furio sparks out of nowhere that she can't stop thinking about him. Tony is still repeatedly cheating on her by doing this with Svetlana. It's something that has been building throughout the entire season. I really wanted to see where this went, and they went above and beyond. Adriana drunk calls Carmela, which I found very shocking. She tells Carm about how Tony still cheats on her. This makes Carmela explode into this angry, out of control character in which she receives her most prominent arc of the whole show to this point. It was all perfectly executed, primarily in the argument scenes between Tony and Carmela. The entertainment room scene was one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a piece of film media. The dialogue was so perfect, with admitting to Tony that she was in love with Furio, revealing all her dirty thoughts and secrets that made Tony explode. I was absolutely floored by this whole incident. I do not think it would go this far, which was so perfect to say the least. I believe this relationship is truly over, but I still think they will have to talk at some point. This changes the show's whole structures. I feel season 5 will be very different, with more broken relationships going to be happening. This is the most significant moment the show has had to offer at this point. Okay, everyone, so this is my spoiler-slash-spoiler-free review of The Sopranos season 4. I hope you all enjoy this as I try to change each season's review as I go to make it more exciting and do my best to please you as my audience. Season 5 review will be coming out next week, as I was very late in delivering this review for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.